I want to quickly talk to you about YNAB versus Banktivity versus Buxfer. Of course, we are speaking about budgeting apps slash personal finance software. So let me first talk to you about YNAB. And again, we were speaking about budgeting, okay? So YNAB first. When you think about YNAB, I want you to think about why you need a budget. That's really what the YNAB stands for, okay? And here is an app that uses the zero-based system when it comes to budgeting. And what happens here is that with a zero-based budgeting, you are basically accounting for every dollar of your income. Okay. And so YNAB, the cool thing about YNAB is that here you have a no-frills app designed for people trying to curb their spending. And especially if you want to have your budgeting to be hands-on, then you want to go with YNAB. And so YNAB will charge you about $15 a month, and or that's about $100 a year if you want to be billed annually versus monthly. So that's really good, okay? And so think about YNAB if you are a serious budgeter. If you're really serious about budgeting, then you want to go for YNAB. Why? Because YNAB is not just an app that you just set and forget. No, you have to really be at it. You have to use it. You have to be dedicated, okay? And so what happens here is that when you first get started with YNAB, you will plan out your monthly expenses in detail by creating spending buckets for each category, such as groceries or travel, and you will fill the buckets with cash every time you get paid. So that's really good because you are allocating resources to the app. Okay, so you want to connect the app with your credit card account, and so the app will record afterwards your purchases. Cash transactions can be easily recorded as well. You can actually either enter upcoming bills and their due dates, or you can actually automate the whole process. And what happens here is that you have to indicate also whether you get paid monthly, quarterly, or eventually semi-annually. So when you think about YNAB, I want you to think about the fact that you have an app that's very straightforward, that forces you to be proactive, that allows you to really to see your spending progress. And that's really good because you have a clear idea about where your money is going, and you have a clear idea how to really control that money right off the bat. I mean, having said that, when you think about YNAB, I mean, $15 a month, that's or $100 a year. That still costs a lot more than some rivals. Okay, so it really costs more than rivals, and it's really tricky sometimes to link bank accounts to YNAB. And also, when it comes to YNAB, as I said a little earlier, you got to be prepared to be really hands-on because it is time-consuming. In some cases, it is there is a learning curve when you start. That's why YNAB they have live training sessions. They have also videos. They have tutorials. They have webinars to sort of educate their user base, and they do this on a consistent basis, on a frequent basis. Okay. And so if you are looking for a lower price alternative, basically you might want to go for others, okay? But $100 when it comes to budgeting, you got to be really serious about your budgeting efforts to actually put that much money into YNAB. But hey, listen, it is really worth it because when you think about the value added, this app is really great. Now, just be aware that it can be tricky to link your various bank accounts to the app. So basically, it's one of those things where you might actually, especially if you have a bank that's not really how do I say it, like household, that's not a household name, okay? So YNAB cannot be set up for that bank, so you might have to really try several times, or even contact customer service to actually get things done, okay? But what I want to say here is that when you think about YNAB, think about flexibility, think about a hands-on approach, think about dedication, because you have to be dedicated to the whole process. Otherwise, you can't really use YNAB and really see the tool actually work for you, because the tool actually can work for you, but you have to be dedicated at first. And so once you allocate funds based on those quote unquote buckets, you have to make sure that you are actually abiding by the limits that you have set yourself for those buckets. Otherwise, the whole thing is not working for you. The whole thing is not going to work for you. So just be aware of that. Otherwise, this is a great app. Pretty straightforward. It's available on Android devices, but also iPhones. So that's pretty good, especially scalability point of view, that's really fantastic. So that's really something to really at least give it a try. I want to talk to you now about Banktivity. So when you think about Banktivity, I want you to think about convenience first. Okay, Banktivity is actually great when it comes to let's say you want to really track your budgeting, your expenses, your revenue in a very, very, very methodical way. And if you use Mac, Quicken is not an option, right? Quicken is a really popular personal finance software, but it's actually designed strictly for Windows users. So if you use Mac, Quicken is not an option. So that's where actually Banktivity comes into the picture, because Banktivity is a personal finance software app designed specifically for Mac devices. And the cool thing is, as I said earlier, it's pretty good in terms of giving you a methodology to actually trace your money. Okay, and so Banktivity actually, what we love about the Banktivity is that they give you flexibility. You have a very user-friendly app, and Banktivity works by connecting all your financial accounts in one place, so you can make smarter decisions. And you sync your accounts on the app, and the information is actually held on the Banktivity private and secure cloud. Okay, and actually setting up the app can happen actually in a matter of minutes. Okay, you can connect to more than 14,000 to 20,000 different banks, and the app even allows you to track the value of your home. So that's really fantastic. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that when you think about the Banktivity, I want you to think about flexibility. I want you to think about accountability. I want you to think also about goal setting. So you can set goals through the app. Okay, and the app even allows you to adjust your goals based on spending, based on revenue, and this is really good. So if you want to improve your financial situation using Banktivity, you want to really focus on setting goals. Okay, so while you're using let's say if you use Banktivity for all kinds of purposes, goal setting is really, really quite essential. One thing I want to say also is that when you think about Banktivity, the app actually comes in 3 different versions. You have Banktivity 6, Banktivity 7, and you also have Banktivity Personalized Plan. And this version, the last version, provides one-on-one help in personalizing the app for your finances. You can schedule a 1-hour audio-enabled screen sharing session with a Banktivity expert. So that's pretty good. And when you think about Banktivity, especially when you actually sign up with Banktivity, like when you sign up on the website, things can go real fast. If you want, you can also sign up through the app. Okay, so once you sign up with the Banktivity, you have everything that gets actually triggered. You can actually set up your account, and once you make your purchase, you will receive an email that will include your registration code. You can then download the Banktivity app from the website, and your registration code will unlock the trial registrations. Okay, so what are the features and benefits? Well, you have a savings rate. So Banktivity automatically calculates your savings rate, letting you know how successful you are in that all important category. So that's important. You have net worth. So Banktivity provides an automatic breakdown of your net worth on a continuous basis. A steadily increasing net worth is an indication of progress toward your financial goals. And for non-US customers, Banktivity is available internationally. In fact, they have thousands of users in over 50 countries. You have customer support, so you can actually you can check out the website FAQ page or search support for answers to your question. Okay. And I also want to talk to you about Banktivity security. So don't worry about anything when it comes to your data. Your data is secure. So that's really important. And so your data is safe. And also you have the possibility to track your investment through Banktivity. So things like internal rate of return or ROI, that's really good. And especially if you are trying to really, if you have, let's say, different investments and you want to track them across the board, Banktivity can really help you out. In terms of pricing, Banktivity actually will set you back. They have 3 pricing tiers. They have the Banktivity Personalized Plan at $59. Banktivity 6 at $64.99, and Banktivity 7 $69.99. So you have 3, and but don't forget that you have the possibility to actually use Banktivity for free for 30 days. The prices I just gave you, those prices are are basically annually. Okay, that's an annual price, and that's it. That's it. I want to talk to you now about Buxfer. So when you think about YNAB versus Banktivity versus Buxfer, what can you remember when you think about Buxfer? Well, Buxfer has a great free option, and the paid for edition actually are really great in terms of let's say variety of features. Okay, so with its appealing interface and a raft of great tools, you will find Buxfer actually a great budgeting app. Okay, especially when you if you like to monitor your cash on the go. So Buxfer Personal Finance is an online package that you can use to pick through your spending activities and help you organize and budget for the future. So along with along with tracking your personal finances, Buxfer can also be used to keep an eye on all your bank accounts. On top of that, and that's what I like, it can track other financial interests, including investments plus savings too. So that's really fantastic. So when it comes to a Buxfer, I want you to think about flexibility. And so while it's not possible to link to your bank accounts through Buxfer, the service is not currently set up for the open banking scheme. But the thing is that they do have an API, so you can actually connect your account. If you know what I'm trying to say, that's really good. In terms of pricing, if you think about Buxfer, they are charging you I mean, this starts by charging you like $4.99 a month when billed annually. If you want to be billed monthly, then you'll pay $11.99 a month. So that's a lot of discounts. Okay, so the more you pay, the good thing about Buxfer is that the more you pay, the more features you get. Although the pilot, because they have a pilot edition, that really comes pretty well stacked for most average users. At the end of the pricing spectrum, Prime delivers actually power tools such as smart alerts, the ability to make payments, and complex control of investments. So that's pretty good, okay? And you have the possibility to control your money and see what's really happening here. So as you can see on the screen here, they're showing you a snapshot of budgets. So particularly your expense. So you have budgets, you have expense, food, shopping, and everything is pretty clear, and everything is pretty user friendly too. So that's really fantastic. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the features. When you think about Buxfer, what kind of features can you think about? First of all, Buxfer's dashboard area is where you manage all of your tools and functionality. So like other personal finance packages, the layout features a fairly common theme with core functions laid out in a neat and tidy structure. Along the top of the menu, alongside the dashboard menu, there are one-click links to insights and budgets, along with forecast and goals options. Buxfer subsequently allows you to manage expenses, budgets, and also forward-looking forecasts all within the main pane. So that's pretty good. And so adding accounts and transactions can be done on the go via the app, which makes it invaluable. While there's also compatibility through the API to actually connect to over 15,000 banks around the world. Okay, there is actually no. I mean, there is a reporting options too, which helps build a bigger picture of your finances. The more feature-heavy paid-for edition mean you are able to track money, pay bills, and also create IOUs, amongst other things. What about performance? Buxfer performance. So the cool thing about Buxfer is that you have the ability to track your performance real fast. Okay, and you can see this in a very neat way, in a very clear way, in a very methodical way. So you have financial management. You have a financial management software tool that runs a treat, especially when it comes to giving you a clear view of your finances. Let's say at a glance, okay. So you are really safe with Buxfer on that front of things. Also, in terms of ease of use, Buxfer is pretty easy to use. As a matter of fact, you can access Buxfer using Google, Facebook, Microsoft, or Yahoo login routes, or by creating an account from scratch after entering an email and password. So that's pretty good. And so overall, when you close your eyes and think about Buxfer, what should you be thinking about? Well, Buxfer is a great solution for organizing your finances and dealing with other less frequently dealt with money matters, all rolled into a one-handy cross-platform bundle. The app side of things offers most of the appeal, though Buxfer has had lots of love given to its browser dashboard too, meaning if it's actually a doodle to use this software in any environment. And Buxfer assures you that it calls upon industry standard security measures to make the whole app safe to use, including 128-bit encryption. So that's really something to really think about. Now, having said that, if you need all of its tools and options, then it's better to head for the Prime Edition, which adds in multi-factor authentication, along with live chat and phone support, plus the ability to make payments and carry out full backups. Okay, so that's really something to really think about if you are serious about using Buxfer. So when you think about YNAB versus Banktivity versus Buxfer, which one should you go for? Before I give you the answer, I want to go back to really giving you a clear idea about how to choose actually a budgeting app. When you think about a budgeting app, I want you to think about a personal finance tool that allows you to create a budget, right? So many apps require you to sync your bank account so you can track your monthly income and category expenses. Okay, now all of your data is automatically imported into the app, which actually calculates how much money you have left, how much you have left over each month. This can give you an idea of where you can cut your spending and how much money you can set aside for savings. Now, one thing for sure, when you think about budgeting, I want you to think about the fact that you have to always start with your goals. When it comes to choosing a budgeting app, think about your goals. Okay, that's everything. That's where everything should start. Determine how you want to use the app, why you want to use a budgeting app in the first place. Do you want to use it for setting savings, creating an emergency fund, or help you fund a large purchase for the future? Think about availability. Think about a free trial. If you have an app that allows you to have a free trial, go for it. You always want to really use an app for free to see if they have the tools and capabilities you need. Okay. Also look for the features. Your goals and financial situation will dictate which features you should seek. Don't commit or pay for, let's say, an app with too many bells and whistles if you want to make simple changes to your financial life. Also think about automation, because the whole thing is you do not want, unless you want to go with YNAB, but otherwise you just want to have something that can automate everything for you, right? That's really important. So you also want to think about cost and security. How much are you willing to pay for the app? It doesn't make sense to sign up for a complicated app when you cannot afford it, especially if it comes with features you would not use. There are also a lot of free budgeting apps that can help keep you on track. So think about that. Also security, right? If security is important for you, you have to really pay attention to that aspect of things as well. So basically, YNAB versus Banktivity versus Buxfer, which one should you go for? Let's talk about the selection. Our selection is pretty simple. We suggest that you go with Buxfer. Why? Because YNAB actually is more involved. You have to you have to monitor the app every single day, every single hour, if you have time for it. Banktivity is more for iPhone users. So Buxfer is for everybody, for iPhone users, but also for Android. That's why we actually select Buxfer. So in closure, in today's conversation, I spoke to you about YNAB versus Banktivity versus Buxfer. I gave you the budgeting side of things, the approach, the selection, and now the closure. Thank you so much. God bless you. I see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.